Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Trader Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 7th of February 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is Nasdaq. So I'm looking at Nasdaq here. Yesterday we had a bit of a down day for Nasdaq and closed lower here, closed below the psychological 7,000 level, and of course I'm talking about Nasdaq 100 here, index here. So it closed below the psychological 7,000 and certainly could create a bit of negativity maybe from the very short-term perspective. We could see maybe this one sliding slightly lower. The only thing is that everybody should remember that we're still trading above this short-term, in a way tentative upside support line taken from the lows of the 24th of December. So this could provide in a way some good support if this, of course, if this index decides to travel further down. If it does, then yep, we will keep a close eye on this upside support line, because it could act as a nice bouncing ground for the index and maybe push Nasdaq back up again. So also of course you should keep an eye on this little downside resistance line as well. So let me just quickly put that on the chart. So in a way this one right here, you could keep a close eye on that one, but for now, because we're quite actually far away from it, well, probably relatively far away from it, you could probably ignore it for now, just not to overcomplicate stuff. But if this, let's say this upside support line gets broken and we see the price dropping below it, then yep, it could be opening the path towards slightly lower levels. Of course, initially we will target the 6,700 zone here, or even actually slightly lower than that. Let me just quickly put that on the chart as well. We're going to mark this low right here at around 6,610 zone, approximately there, guys. But again, in order to kind of see these levels getting tested, we need to see a break below this tentative upside support line first, and then, like I said, we'll target the 6,700 level, or even just slightly lower than that. But then again, like I said, for now, as long as we kind of remain trading above that upside support line, the potential is still kind of more to the upside, and especially given the fact that we're not far from this key area of resistance here, marked by the highs of the 3rd of December, which is around the 7,107 level. So keep your eyes on that one. We're not far from it. It's just about 100 points away from it. I mean, that's doable for the index in a day even. So yep, keep your eyes on that one, because this is going to be very interesting if it actually reaches that level here. But the most important, of course, if we do get a break above that level, now if we do see something like that, then yep, of course we will target some other higher levels, higher potential resistance areas. But for now, guys, in a way, what could happen here as well is we could see something like this, basically, where we could maybe travel slightly lower for a bit of more correction and rebound from this area and then push back up again. So keep this idea in your head. Of course, for now, from the very short-term perspective, let me just jump into a 4-hour chart on this one. In a way, what you could keep on monitoring here is, for example, the yesterday's lows, and the yesterday's lows were around this level right here, and let me just quickly put that level here is around 69 zone. So basically, in a way, you could keep keep on monitoring this level. So a nice good drop below the 69.69 could open the path towards much lower levels, and by much lower levels I mean the next potential area of support could be seen around the 68.65, which is also not far from this upside support line that I was just talking about. So something like this could be possible, guys, but for now, of course, be very careful with this one. If this suddenly starts pushing above yesterday's highs, which were around the 7,035 zone, then yep, we could see a possible test of the 7,107 level that I was just talking about. So keep your eyes on that one. Let's see how this market is going to open today, and keep your eyes on these specific levels that I was just talking about. So on the upside is the 7,035 level, and on the downside is the 69.69 level, so approximately there, so 6,969. So keep your eyes on that one. Jumping into Ethereum, to be honest, not much to talk about here. Just wanted to kind of show you where we're at right now, and it managed to rebound from this area of support. And actually, let me just adjust this support level, because this is where it found where it rebounded from, and that was approximately around the 101 level. So from this level, the crypto managed to push back up here, almost managed to reach the 105, but well, it did reach it here yesterday, but quickly sold off a little bit. Today we're seeing the crypto kind of balancing near the pivot, which is around the 103 level, maybe just slightly above that, but still for us, let's say, to consider a possible move higher on this one, we need to see a nice good push above the 105 level first, and then of course for a better confirmation we would need to see a nice good push above the 106, or even actually we could round up towards the 107. So a nice good push above the 107 level could open the path towards slightly higher levels. We could then start targeting the 110, or even actually the 112.50. But for now, until we're kind of stuck here, it's, to be honest, it's also at the same time very difficult to predict where exactly it's going to go. But if potential investors are going to see this, that the $100 is already quite low for Ethereum, we could maybe see more investors jumping in here. And like I said, for those technical traders, we could see maybe more of them jumping in if we see a break above the 107 level. On the downside, well, we're going to keep on monitoring the 101 and of course the psychological 100 level as well. A nice good drop below the 100 could lead towards further declines, maybe actually going into a test of the 92 level or even the 90 zone itself. So but for now, until we're kind of here, then yeah, we're just going to remain neutral and observe some key areas of resistance and support. Jumping into one pair that you probably don't look at very often, and that's GBPRUB. Now we threw out a trading shout out here earlier on today, and basically where we were telling that to keep an eye on this level here around the 85.40 level. So we had a nice push higher here, managed to pop to the upside, and now kind of it made a move a little bit higher here, but currently you can see it's slightly retracing back down. Certainly we do have our stop loss here just below these lows right here. We can see that historically here back and throughout the whole January, actually the rate kind of got held near this 84.80 level. Certainly we did have a few undershoots here, but the kind of the body of the 4-hour candle never kind of closed below that. So in a way, of course, you can see that this is it acted as a nice area of support, this level here around the 84.80, from which the pair now reversed and pushed higher. And of course today we're seeing a nice pop here in the British pound. It's trying to move back up here. So in a way, of course, this could lead towards slightly higher levels as well. Certainly, let's keep on monitoring this one. But the next potential area that we're keeping a close eye on is the 86.05, or even actually slightly higher than that is the 86.65 zone, approximately there. So this is going to be our little potential take profit area here. So let's see if it actually manages to do that. So yep, but do check us out sometimes here on TradingView, and we do throw out different shout outs. So yep, guys, hope you found it hope you can find it useful. So but basically for now, this is the idea that we've got here in play. Certainly, like I said, we do have a tight stop loss, and let's see how this plays out further on, and we will keep you updated on this one as well. So GBPUSD, now looking at this one, yep, and had a nice reversal here after the or should I say even actually during the BOE's press conference, and you can see that GBPUSD managed to get back above the 129.25 level. Certainly this is seen as a nice bullish indication here. Of course, initially rebounding from the 128.55 level. We had that one, I was talking about this level here as well in one of my videos recently. So and the pair managed to actually reach the psychological 130 level again, so but from which you kind of can see it failed to break it and retraced now back down slightly. So it's currently trading about 20 pips, approximately around 20 pips away from the psychological 130 level. The big question here is, of course, are we actually going to get back above the 130 level or not? And at the moment probably it's a bit difficult to say, because we are actually quite overextended already to the upside, so we might see maybe a bit of retracement back down. So keep your eyes on this key area here around the R1, which is around the 129.65. so basically if this decides to reverse back below the 129.65 levels, then yep, I mean we could see maybe a bit of a move back down here tomorrow. And the only problem here is that if the pair fails to drive back above the 130 level and kind of continues trading below it, and then we see a drop below the 129.65 level, so in a way what you can see where we've got the 200 EMA, so in a way we could probably finish the week somewhere around here. So tomorrow's trading day could be maybe a bit of a dull one, and we could see maybe the, like I said, the rate staying around here, maybe just having a few undershoots here or overshoots, but in a way kind of staying here. So of course this is just a bit of speculation, let's put it that way. For now what we're gonna do here is, of course, we're gonna continue observing some of the key areas of support and resistance, and certainly if this decides to drop below the 129.25 level again, then yep, we'll start targeting the 128.55 level again. So keep your eyes on down. If this decides to push above the 130, well, if it does push above the 130 level, you should also, what you should keep a close eye on is, of course, this little tentative downside resistance line here. Now it's a bit of a tricky one here, because it's hard to capture these highs here because they're kind of a little bit all over the place, but still, if we do get a push above the 130 level, keep your eyes on this downside resistance line. In a way, you could maybe connect these lows here, right here. Probably will be a bit of a better call, and so in a way we could see a test of this downside resistance line again, and if it fails, if the rate fails to drive above it, then we could see maybe another leg of selling. But again, if it does get to this point here, if it does get to this downside resistance line, this is where we will just take a neutral position here and just kind of see what's happening, what it wants to do. Because for us, let's say, to get more comfortable with higher levels, we would need to see a nice good push above the 130.85 level. If we do see GBPUSD pushing above that 130.85, then yep, we'll start considering maybe higher levels. But for now, until it's kind of trading below this downside resistance line and below the 130 level, we're just still going to probably continue aiming lower. And especially, like I said, if we do get a drop below the 129.25 level again, then yep, we will target even lower levels. So yep, keep your eyes on that one. Jumping into NZDCAD now, of course, NZD, the New Zealand dollar, is kind of getting hit lately, or should I say the past 2 days here, getting hit. But on NZD, but basically the Canadian dollar is kind of slightly on the more on the weaker side, and you can see that we had a nice retracement here back up here. Still, the pair remains below today's pivot, which is around the 0.8985 level, approximately there, and also it's below this tentative upside support line. So in a way, we're still targeting the downside here. The only thing is that we do have a very strong potential area of support here around this level, which is near the 0.8915 level. So quite an important level this is, because you can see how well it played out nicely in the past, on the 21st of January, also on the 9th of January, and on the 2nd of January as well. So basically a drop below the 0.8915 level opens a horizon of much lower levels. We could see further declines here, but for now, guys, keep on monitoring this. Let's see how this plays out. If certainly we are still kind of more bearish than bullish on this one, but if this suddenly drives back above the 0.9030 level here, then yep, we could potentially start looking at these recent highs that we saw here in January, and yep, we could aim for those, and that was around the 0.9120, or if that fails to withhold the bull pressure, then yep, further acceleration to the upside is possible again. But again, from the very short term perspective, guys, for now we're trading below the pivot. We are seeing a bit of recovery, but this recovery is seen as more as a correction, but for a better confirmation of the downside in the let's say more near term, we need to see a nice good drop below the 0.8915 level first. And jumping in the last pair here, EURGBP, now of course getting affected by the pound rally right now, and of course you can see this this pair breaking this upside support line now, and of course now it found its support near as well, another nice horizontal support found near the 0.8725 zone, from which it kind of trying to retrace back up here right now. So in a way, what you could do is here is keep on monitoring the 0.8725 level. A nice good drop below this could open the path towards the 0.8655, and if that fails to withstand kind of the bear pressure here, then it might lead the rate all the way towards January lows here near the 0.8620. But for now, excuse me, we need to see a break of the 0.8725 level first. On the upside, if this suddenly drives back above this upside support line, this is where we could potentially start looking at higher levels. But for a better confirmation of the upside, wait for a push above the 0.8795 level here, and then we will aim for higher levels. So for now, it's a bit of a we are already kind of quite extended to the downside today. Let's see what happens with the 0.8725 level. If it breaks, wonderful, then this opens the path towards lower levels. But if this pair suddenly reverses back up here sharply, well, keep your eyes on the 0.8795. If this gets a nice pop here, then yep, we could then target higher levels again. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I do apologize for running a little bit over my time, but thank you very much for sticking around. If you want to join me tomorrow morning in my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, guys. Or for those who are trading in the Americas, have a nice day. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.